Hello and welcome back to the Spanner Lab. If you saw my video on doing the brakes, you may have noticed that at the end, when I was showing you them working, the front end was just diving. So today we're going to do the fork oil. I'm going to show you again what the front end of your bike looks like. What happens when you've not got any fork oil in at all, and that's because I refurbished the forks and put new seals in them and just haven't got around to putting the oil in yet. Okay, are you ready? So that's what your forks do when they've got no oil in at all. So, if you didn't know, the purpose of your oil in your forks is to slow the compression and decompression of your forks down, so you don't just bounce down the road. Now, first thing we're going to do before we go any further is loosen off the fork caps. Okay, we're not going to remove them, we're just going to loosen them. 24mm. Now we slacken this off with the big 24mm spanner. It should be fairly loose after that. Now this is going to pop up. Not a heck of a lot, but a little bit. It is going to pop up. There we go. It's not going to jump out in your face. It's not going to fly up and hit the ceiling, okay? Also, okay. Okay. So that did come off very easily. Okay. Bear with me. Ooh. So, now we can get plenty of oil down there with this out the way. Now there's a reason that I've gone to reasonable lengths to remove these and provide myself good access to the tops of these forks. And that reason is that we need to put 412 millilitres in each fork. And if we spill any, we won't know how much is in the fork. And these forks don't have a drain plug at the bottom of them. So it's not even a matter of we can just drain it out and go, oh, let's do it again. If we've got it wrong, we've got to turn these forks upside down and get the oil out. We've got to near enough rip the whole front end off to get all the oil out so that we can then check that we've got the right amount of oil in. To my mind, it makes the most sense to take a couple of minutes to get your access really good, to measure out your fork oil really accurately, and to put it in really carefully. Now, I'm a great fan of making myself tools or any kind of device that's going to make it any easier for me. This is the bottom leg off of my camper trailer ladder, but it sprung to my mind it's about the same size as the fork, and it is. It's a little bit narrower, and that's going to be even easier to get that oil down. So a little bit of masking tape around the bottom of it will make it a better fit, and this might even be as well as a funnel. Might put a funnel on top of it too. I'm going to try and avoid putting too many funnels and that sort of stuff because they all collect oil. A little bit more. They all collect oil. So we are already going to have to put more oil in. There's going to be an element of guesswork anyway. We're just trying to minimise that. But yeah, some of the oil that we tip into the jug at the start will not make it down into the forks. So we have to put too much in the jug. We've got to guess how much is going to stay in the jug. That works for me. That is going to make pouring oil into the top of my forks a heck of a lot easier. So we need 412 millilitres of this, well, the fork oil that it says in the manual into it, which is Honda SS something wrong. I don't know, I don't care. I'm putting 10 weight in because that's what the chap at the local Honda dealers recommended. And if I find that it's too light, I can go down to 5 or up to 15. That's what the guy at the dealership recommended. He does it all day long. I've got no reason to not believe him. This is my measuring jug. Now, it's fairly hard to read. You'll barely see it at all, but you will see some of my black lines. Those black lines are because I find them a heck of a lot easier to see than the marks on the side that came from the factory, especially when I'm pouring oil in. So I'm going to look for 400. I'm going to look for 450. Somewhere between 400 and 450 is going to be 425. And I'm putting 425 in here because some of it's going to stay in here. Some of it's going to stay in the funnel. Some of it's going to stay in the tube. So that is my guess. It's quite simply, it's an estimated guess. While I'm pouring this in, I want to give a shout out to Mike Hitchcock, chap on Facebook, who's just decided he's going to help me. Really appreciate it, Mike. You made a heck of a difference, mate. Got a load of subscriptions, and I really do appreciate it. Everybody can do a favour for a mate. When you find someone who'll do a favour for a stranger, you've met a top bloke. And a fraction less into this one, because the tube that I'm holding already has some oil in it. I can hear it bubbling. Reassemble in reverse. Now, the manual says that these preload adjusters from the factory should be on the 3rd ring down. So I'm going to count that in. But these are adjustable. That's what they're for. So you can adjust them to your preference. I haven't got a preference yet. I'll put them on that. Right, we should be done. Better. It's taking a little bit of time to get working, but that's better than it was.